1 hour ago, TAEKOOK performed on stage together with the other BTS members, performing the song Swim from the album ARIRANG. Their performance was explosive and incredibly good. The stage was so lively, and the applause from ARMY never stopped. Jungkook's gaze toward Taehyung seemed to say, "I'm proud of you, my love," and Taehyung also whispered to him during their dance. This event was held in Seoul, South Korea, marking their first live performance. Many fans shouted that TAEKOOK is back, and with BTS behind them, it almost felt as if TAEKOOK stood out even more. During the dance, Taehyung and his partner shared intimate choreography and held hands tightly. Who can doubt their bond now? TAEKOOK brings color and excitement to my life. Watch the continuation of this video and don't miss it. Before we start, make sure you're ready to love this moments. Welcome to V Effect. The stage lights at Seoul Olympic Stadium slowly dimmed, leaving behind a deep, calming ocean blue glow as the melody of Swim began to echo throughout every corner of the arena. In the middle of a stage filled with thin layers of fog effects, Taehyung and Jungkook stood side by side, creating a silhouette so beautiful that it made thousands of spectators hold their breath for a moment. Their presence that night felt different. There was an overflowing aura of honesty, as if they no longer wished to hide the emotions that had long remained a secret behind the scenes. Taehyung began the first verse with his deep, emotional voice, his eyes never once leaving Jungkook, who stood only inches away from him. Every word that left his lips felt like a love letter being read aloud, filled with profound confession. Jungkook returned the gaze with glistening, tear-filled eyes, delivering a soft high harmony, as if they were communicating in a language only the two of them understood amidst the bustling crowd of Seoul. As the choreography began, their movements appeared perfectly synchronized, yet filled with touches that had never existed in rehearsals. Taehyung boldly wrapped his arm around Jungkook's waist, pulling him closer until their chests nearly touched, creating an intimate moment that sent the entire stadium into an uproar. They danced to a slowing rhythm, as though time itself had stopped, leaving them inside a bubble of love that felt undeniably real. Jungkook then rested his head on Taehyung's shoulder as they moved across the stage, a gesture of sincere protection. Taehyung's fingers gently brushed the back of Jungkook's neck, offering a deeply personal comfort in front of thousands of watching eyes. The audience began to sob, realizing that what they were witnessing was not mere stage acting, but a bold expression of feelings that transcended professional boundaries. At another corner of the stage, the other BTS members stood watching with meaningful smiles and teary eyes. Namjoon, Jin, Yoongi, J-Hope and Jimin had long known the secret of their two younger members' hearts, and had silently witnessed their journey for years. That night, they intentionally gave Taehyung and Jungkook more space, standing in the background as a form of unconditional support that moved anyone who saw it. Jimin was seen wiping his eyes, feeling both proud and touched as he watched Taehyung and Jungkook finally dare to show their most vulnerable sides to the world in their homeland. The other members could only nod softly, occasionally offering small, encouraging applause, becoming pillars supporting a love that had grown amid the storm of fame. Their quiet support gave Taehyung and Jungkook extraordinary strength to stand tall under the blinding stage lights. The moment reached its peak when Jungkook tightly held Taehyung's hand, intertwining their fingers in front of his chest as the final chorus was sung. There was no longer any distance, no more hesitation. Only two souls finding home in each other amid the chaos of the world. The gentle kiss that Taehyung placed on Jungkook's temple became the climax of the night's emotions. A sacred promise spoken without words, yet clearly heard by thousands watching in breathless silence. The atmosphere of the stadium turned into a sea of tears, where fans were no longer screaming hysterically, but crying in respectful silence. Many embraced one another, deeply moved by the sincerity radiating from every movement and gaze shared between them. A mixture of sadness and happiness blended into a magical atmosphere that would never be forgotten in the long history of their careers in Seoul. Taehyung whispered something into Jungkook's ear during the song, a small secret that made Jungkook smile widely, his eyes curving beautifully and his cheeks flushing. That smile was the most genuine fans had ever seen, a proof that true happiness lies in the courage to love honestly. They continued moving in perfect synchronization, as if their bodies had merged with the melody of the song. The stage lights slowly shifted into a warm golden hue, illuminating their calm and peaceful faces amid the chaos of the concert. Their hands never let go, symbolizing their readiness to face whatever might come after the curtain fell. The tension that once surrounded their relationship seemed to dissolve, replaced by courage born from acceptance and sincere love. Fans in the front rows could clearly see how Taehyung's eyes remained locked on Jungkook, as if afraid that if he blinked, the moment would vanish into the night. The intimacy they showed was not something forced for public consumption, but a natural flow of emotions long restrained by strict industry protocols. That night in Seoul, they were not just global idols, but two ordinary people celebrating the victory of their love. Every dance movement became slower and more expressive, each touch carrying deep emotional weight and meaning. Jungkook occasionally closed his eyes, enjoying the warmth of Taehyung's presence, a place he could lean on when the pressures of the world became too heavy. It felt as though they were swimming in an ocean of love they had created themselves, fully embodying the meaning of swim. The other BTS members began moving toward the center of the stage as the song neared its end, forming a protective circle around them. They did not dance but simply stood there with emotional expressions, showing the world that TAEKOOK would never face any storm alone. Their presence added depth to the moment, affirming that their love was part of a family built on mutual care and respect. As the final note of Swim faded, Taehyung and Jungkook remained in a tight embrace at center stage, ignoring the cameras capturing every inch of their movement. Their breathless voices were heard through the microphones, blending with the sobs of the audience. They stayed like that for several seconds that felt like eternity, as if trying to etch this moment of honesty into everyone's memory. The stadium lights eventually went out completely, yet the remnants of that magical performance lingered in the cool Seoul night air. Taehyung and Jungkook walked off stage still holding hands, leaving behind a trace of love that would be talked about forever as the boldest moment in their musical history. Backstage, they were greeted with warm embraces from the other members, celebrating a small freedom they had finally claimed beneath the Korean stars. Now the world no longer sees them merely as two global stars with extraordinary talent, but as symbols of courage and love. The names Taehyung and Jungkook are etched in the hearts of millions as figures who broke boundaries and showed that honesty in feelings is the most beautiful universal language. Their courage to be themselves on that Seoul stage serves as a reminder that true love is worth fighting for, no matter how fierce the storm ahead. The sincerity they radiated made them deeply loved and admired across the world. They are not just idols but inspirations who teach about loyalty, sacrifice, and the meaning of family support. Watching how they protect one another, and how the other BTS members stand firmly behind them, the world realizes that true beauty lies in genuine human connection, making them icons worthy of admiration. The highest praise belongs to Taehyung and Jungkook for the harmony of souls they created, far more beautiful than any melody. They proved that softness can be the greatest strength, and that a loving gaze can outshine even the brightest stage lights. Their dedication to each other, wrapped in remarkable professionalism, sets a new standard for love and resilience under immense pressure. As the closing of that magical night, history will remember them as two warriors who conquered doubt with sincerity as their weapon. The world will continue to celebrate their story, remembering every small touch and falling tear on that Seoul stage as proof that their love is an everlasting masterpiece, adding a new color to the global music industry, one filled with warmth, hope, and a love that will never fade with time. Leave your positive comments here. The best comment will be pinned as a way to honor their love. Thank you to everyone who continues to support this channel. May God reward all of your kindness. This video reflects my personal opinion and interpretation. It is made for entertainment purposes only and does not represent confirmed facts.